Hi everyone, it's Rax. I've played the PTR quite a bit and I've talked to a lot of people about their experiences on it so far. And I just wrote a document that I sent to Blizzard with my thoughts and recommended changes for what I think they should do from now until launch. So I want to go over that with you. And one thing I'd like to caution you on is I'm going to share some things which might really upset you guys initially, but let me finish. Let me explain my whole thought process and see if you still hate me at the end, okay? So, first of all, some basic things. Some of the PTR, there's little bags on the PTR that give you items. There's a ton of things missing for a ton of classes, so we pointed that out. So let's first talk about the altar itself. So when you're using the altar, the way that it highlights nodes that you have or don't have, there's been a lot of people complaining that it's difficult to tell what are the 26 nodes you have and what you don't. So if they could highlight it a little bit more profoundly, that would be better. In the bottom row for the potion powers, the 3 that you select are extremely imbalanced. The one that gives you the random pylons on the right, AC on the diagram, is by far the best one. It's just way better than the other 2. Then it's probably the Skittle rings and finally the damage reduction. I'm not saying that they need to nerf anything there. I'm not saying that you need to nerf the thing, the total power that you give the player. But I am saying, and they asked for this, that it is completely imbalanced. There's no decision to make there. You take AC first every time. There are 2 things in this entire document that I think that they absolutely have to change, and this is one of them, and this is the extra orbs in group play. There is a node in the altar that says you get 1 extra orb to drop when you kill an elite. Well, when you're playing with 4 people, the elites drop 1 extra orb for every player in the game. First of all, I'm sure this was not intended by Blizzard, and this is way too powerful because it essentially forces everybody to play groups. When you kill a yellow, instead of getting 4 orbs, you get 8. It's like killing 2 elites for 1, whereas solo players only get 5. And most people play solo. It's very unfair to them. Group play is already way better if they both get 5 orbs from the kills as it is. So giving 4 players 8 and solo players only 5 just only widens the already colossal gap between solo and group play. Another thing they could do is, instead of dropping more orbs, as was suggested by somebody in chat, instead they could just give you higher progress for each orb that drops. Maybe it gives you like 2% or something, whatever the right number is. I think it currently gives you 1.15 for an orb, so maybe it gives you 1.5 or something. That's another option. Something is spelled wrong, not a big deal. There's something that's supposed to pick up all orbs on the map. It doesn't pick up all orbs. It picks up all orbs if you're close to it or if you can see it. If they really wanted to pick up all orbs, they're going to have to increase the radius dramatically. And it would be nice if we could open the altar if we're far away from it. Okay, so let's get into the season theme itself. The circles that spawn can be very hard to see with all the effects on the ground. Is there any way they can fix it? I don't know, but that's just some feedback. The circles can sometimes spawn out of bounds, so you can't use them. And one very bizarre thing is the conduits that you get that spawn from the potions seem to be stronger than normal conduits. Why did that happen? And it's probably a bug. Now let's talk about the pylon node. And let me finish my thought before you get mad, okay? So it's by far the best thing in the game. You just keep getting conduits and power pylons, and you just can clear anything with pretty much any build. It's insane. So let's consider the schools of thought that Blizzard could consider here. First thought is just leave it. Send it as it is. Go out with a bang. Let the casuals get by far their best clears ever. Let all the builds destroy. Could be a lot of fun. It's only going to piss off the really competitive blasters that are trying to, like, I don't know, I guess use skill to get rank 1, but instead it's really just whoever gets more conduits is going to win. It's just that simple. They could tone it down a bit. Now here's a few ideas on how you could do that. The first and the one that I think makes the most sense, if they wanted to tone it down, is just to disable Flavor of Time. It's one thing to to just keep feeding us powers and conduits. It seems to happen a lot. But also to have Flavor of Time apply to those buffs and double their duration is super powerful. I mean, you just crush everything. Check out my Tal Rasha Wizard clear that first key. I got 2 conduits and I cleared it in 6 minutes. This, I think, would be reasonable, and it would still make this node, I still can't stress this enough, it would still be insanely powerful. You could get only 1 of each pylon per rift. You could put them in a specific order, or you could just remove the conduit entirely and let Flavor of Time stay. Another thing you could do is you could just get rid of this node. A lot of people were advocating for getting rid of it. That's the only reason I put in this document. I just don't think you should do this. I think it's a cool power. I think you should keep it. And it just adds a bunch of chaos to the seasonal theme, which I think is a good thing. My recommendation to Blizzard is either to just leave it alone, just leave it as it is. That's probably maybe what I would advocate for. Or go for 2A and just disable Flavor of Time with it. Still be able to clear 150, or by far the highest clear you've ever done, even if they disable Flavor of Time. If you get at least 2 30-second conduits in the Rift, it's still going to crush for you. So we'll see what they do. Blizzard doesn't just listen to me, but I'm saying you should keep it or maybe just disable Flavor of Time. I don't think you should change it. I like the randomness of it. I like the chaos of it. I would not like them to limit it to 1 per rift, and I don't want it in a specific order. And I don't think they should remove conduit. But these ideas came from a discussion with literally 1,000 people on my stream, so we just put some ideas down on the paper. Classes. This Necro Potion Curse reset has got to go. It's just got to go. It's ridiculous. The Necros can just keep resetting their potions and just fish for more conduits. So you got to change this. Otherwise, every Necro build is just going to win. I think you have to change this. For those of you that are saying, well, I wanted to go Necro and just be super OP. Everything is OP. Everything is godly. You can clear 150 on practically anything. You don't have to play a Necro to feel OP. Trust me. I spent the whole day proving that to the 1,000 people watching me. I think you got to get rid of this. I think it's just completely busted with the seasonal theme. There's some weird things going on with the Spike Trap DH. You get the Fire rune for free, so lightning damage buffs the lightning rune, but you only get the extra damage on your COE fire cycle, which is super confusing. So that has to be addressed. Now let's talk about the Spike Trap DH. Again, let me finish the whole thought before you get out your pitchforks. So we have some problems here. The gameplay is exactly the same as God DH and the Brain Dead build and the Goblin Blaster from last season. It's always spin to win. Everything that comes out for Demon Hunter is always spin to win because strafe is the best way to apply it. I love spin to win builds. I play them all the time. I literally played God DH for 1,000,000 hours. I played Brain Dead and Goblin Blaster. I love these builds. So we're not going to get rid of them. Just hang with me for a second. Manually casting anything on this build is not helpful. You literally don't even press the Spike Trap thing. You don't lay them tactically. You don't do anything. You just spin around. So you essentially just created a copy of the God DH. That's really all that you did, especially when everyone's using the lightning rune. And here, once again, to call it out directly, if you remove a great spin to win build from the Diablo community, they're going to hate you. They're going to riot. Okay? And then they're going to come after me. So I would like to discuss a solution where everybody is happy. Start with the Spike Trap DH, change it. Don't make it work with strafe. Make it a manual build. Make it more cerebral. And buff its power for the loss of quality of life. Should be like an S tier build if you can play it correctly. Whatever they want to come up with, I'm game for. But we don't want to lose our spin to win build. Let's go back to the God DH, which a lot of people love. First of all, we need to buff it a few tiers. Okay, they nerfed it so many times, it's not even close to the best farming build anymore. And another problem with God DH in general is there's too many hungering arrow presses. your momentum stacks keep decaying, so you have to press Hungering Arrow like once every second, which I think has given like 10,000 Demon Hunters carpal tunnel from playing the game. So this would be my proposed solution. Change the 6-piece from 15,000% to 30,000. That would be a 4.5 tier buff. It would make it an A tier build again, and it would be a fantastic build for farming. It would be a godly build for farming. Then your momentum stacks should only start decaying 5 seconds after your last primary shot. That would solve the problem of pressing Hungering Arrow all the time. Because when you shoot one, it stays at 20, or whatever momentum stacks you're at. It stays there and doesn't start decaying until 5 seconds later. This actually is the minimum amount of Hungering Arrow presses you'd have to make anyway, because you have to refresh your Wraps of Clarity, and you have to refresh your Focus and your Restraint. That's once every 5 seconds. So you cannot get away, no matter what, from pressing Hungering Arrow once every 5 seconds. But this change would guarantee that that's how often you have to press it. It's going to reduce the number of clicks significantly, and it's going to be much better for keeping your momentum stacks at 20 so you aren't getting those little decays while you play. Trust me, as someone who's played that build for probably more than 1,000 hours, this would make it way better. It would actually probably make it a better farming build than the current Spike Trap DH is currently. And then you could farm all season with God DH, and then you could put on your Spike Trap DH from all the godly loot that you got, and you could learn how to play it and then get super godly results out of it. So I'm actually asking them to buff Spike Trap and give us a different play style than the same thing that we got 1,000 times in a row, and just give some attention to the spin to win build that you already gave Demon Hunters. Put it back in A tier, and please prevent us or help us from pressing Hungering Arrow once every second and breaking our hands. I think that would be a fantastic solution, so everybody's happy and everybody wins. But what do you guys think? I hope you heard me out before you dislike the video and got your pitchforks and are going to come hunt me down. So anyway, that's what I'm recommending to Blizzard. In conclusion, make PTR testing better. Some updates for the altar. I think the extra orbs in group play is way too much. It makes the chasm between solo and group play the size of the Milky Way galaxy. Got to get rid of that. I think there's no choice there. Yeah, this conduit is stronger than a normal conduit. We definitely don't understand why, or don't know why they would want that in the game. The pylon node is just ridiculously powerful. If you erase the entire altar and you only gave us this, it would still be insane. Just the repeated 1 minute powers, 1 minute conduits, 1 minute powers, 1 minute conduits. It's utterly ridiculous. It's super strong. So they could leave it and just say, oh yeah, we're going for it. Maybe you disable Flavor of Time. Maybe you cut it in half. Still godly, still ridiculous. But this, do you think it might be a little too strong? Maybe. The potion reset, you have to change this. It's just way too strong. And the Spike Trap DH, it's more the same thing. We already have a Spin to Win build. Can you fix the Spin to Win build and make Spike Trap just do something else? Just make it not work with Strafe and give it some extra damage and make it apply a different way and give us a reason to actually lay down some traps. I mean, isn't that the whole point, to be a trapper DH? Aren't we losing the entire fantasy here? And make them do a shitload of damage. Maybe it can be a trash clear or something. That's my feedback for Blizzard. I'm interested to know what you guys think. What do you think? Is there anything critical that I missed? Have you been playing the PTR? If I missed something, post a comment down below. If you guys are reading the comments, if you see a godly idea, upvote it 1,000,000 times. I'll see it. And if you have a good one, I'll give it a little heart and I'll add it to my document and I'll give you credit for it. So yeah, more testing is coming. I'm going to test everything. I'll put videos up of all the strongest builds, make guides, make leveling guides. And Blizzard doesn't always listen to me. They make their own decisions, but just giving them my feedback. See you in the next video.